Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers.
Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Thursday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that the Los Angeles Lakers were in action, continuing their East Coast road trip in sunny South Florida, taking on none other than Miami Heat, with LeBron James to have a homecoming of sorts. Now, we got a whole lot to talk about. Of course, I know the main thing in the headline is that everybody's talking about is what LeBron James has said regarding how he wants to end his career. After the press conference last night, a question was posed to him in which he answered honestly, and he told reporters that he feels good as far as his longevity is concerned, as far as his health, as far as how much he can play the game at a high level. And we all know right now, even though a lot of people may not consider LeBron James top 5 or even top 10, I think he's still a top 10 player in this league. And I know a lot of people say no because of, his lacking on the defensive end at this stage in his career. But at the end of the day, for what LeBron James brings you offensively, I think he's well worth it. And if he could be surrounded by marquee players, then we know what he's still capable of. And I honestly think if Anthony Davis was still healthy and they had just one or two good role players, that they would be contending for a championship year in and year out. But of course, they brought in Russell Westbrook, who took a lot of that money up. And as a result, they don't have the role players necessary, which I still think they could still fill those roster spots with people that's at least capable of knocking down open threes, because at this point, it's just like LeBron said it early on in the season, and it wasn't a knock to his team, but he just said there are no lasers on this team. There's nobody who can really go out here. There's no Steph Curry, so to speak, on this team. And it's not a knock. It's just saying it is what it is, which he was just alluding to, that they have to win in other ways. And it just baffles me sometimes the number of threes that the Lakers continue to make. But, I'm going to get more into the game in just a minute, but just more so on what LeBron said. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he was saying. He wasn't threatening anyone. He was just saying how he would like to finish his career, that he has something left in the tank, and he feels like that he wants to continue to compete for championships. And right now, he just doesn't feel as if that's what he's doing. So, and it's not, necessarily his fault, because we saw last night, the Lakers were winning. LeBron would go to the bench. Lakers would be losing. LeBron, at one point, when LeBron went and sat down in the first quarter, the Lakers were winning by 4. He sat down for a couple of minutes, and then the next thing you know, the Lakers were down by 11 or 12. He comes back in, in the second quarter, and, of course, they go right back up, and they're winning the game. But, of course, as soon as he sits down, it's the same problem, that the Lakers cannot find any offense. Now, granted, Miami is a great defensive team. I'm telling you what, they really were keyed in last night. But the play from the role players last night was unacceptable. You had Austin Reeves, who gave you 0, and then you had Lonnie Walker, who gave you 0. And Lonnie Walker continues to get that nod in the starter position. I do not understand. I understand there's loyalty, and that's who at the beginning of the season, did you say, hey, this is my starter, or were you giving Troy Brown some of this time? At the end of the day, Darvin Ham needs to make a better decision as far as who he's starting, and I know you don't want to affect Lonnie Walker's confidence at this point in the season, but, I have to question some of Darvin Ham's moves on yesterday, in particular that of, Lonnie Walker was giving you a goose egg. He wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't finding a way to get to the basket. He was not making any of his open shots. He was only 0 for 4. I mean, he wasn't even really getting a shot up. So what is he bringing to the table? We know he's not the best defensively. So with all that being said, what are you bringing to the table? And the Lakers went down, of course, at the beginning when Lonnie Walker was still on the floor. He went to the bench. LeBron continued to play. And then you bring in a Russell Westbrook and LeBron, who actually have been playing well together. And then all of a sudden you have some ways to find some offense on the floor, because when there's no LeBron James on the floor, and then, you just have to leave it to Westbrook, who can get other players involved. But if they're not actively making their shots, like Austin Reeves, of course, he was 0 for 5 last night and laid a goose egg. So I don't understand. I know it's the second night of a back-to-back. These are some young players, and they was on South Beach. Maybe they was kicking it out all night to 5 or 6 in the morning. Who knows what was going on, but clearly Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves did not have it last night. And what perplexed me was Troy Brown came in. He only got 20 minutes, but you took him out in the waning minutes of the game. Even when you cut the lead, I think the lead was at either 20 or 22, and you cut it down to 8. You had a chance in 3 possessions. You shot 3 airball threes in a row. Schroeder shot an airball 3. Pat Bev shot an airball 3. And I think it was somebody else, I can't remember, Schroeder shot another bad airball 3, but it was 3 of them in a row. When that could have been the Lakers' chance right there. When you cut it to 8, they didn't even score on those other 3 possessions. So you really missed out on an opportunity there. And if they're shooting airball threes, they let me know their legs aren't there. That means you playing the second night of a back-to-back, and these youngsters just didn't have what it took, regardless of whatever it is they was getting themselves into during the miraculous nights of South Beach. Hey, I go there quite often, so I know it can be fun, and I know you might be at Tootsie's, you might be anywhere else, but at the end of the day, you have to take this professionally and take this seriously and continue to handle your business. And one thing that I want to say about Darvin Ham, I know Toscano Anderson came in and he kept some balls alive and he was active with his hands. I'm not discerning against that, that particular decision to give him the playing time that you continue to give him, even though he is coming back from injury and hadn't got a whole lot of playing time. He wasn't doing anything on the offensive end. I would have liked to see Max Christie last night. If Lonnie Walker was giving you nothing and Max Christie had been playing well before, put your young gunners in there. He a rookie. He's been playing good. He hit crucial threes already this season. He's not afraid to shoot, and he's going to make it. He can knock them down. And his defense isn't half bad from what I've seen. So I don't understand, Lonnie Walker played pathetic in the first half. Then he come out in the second half, and you play him all through that whole third quarter. And I'm trying to figure out at what point they're going on this run. The Lakers continue to be a bad third quarter team. They've been a bad third quarter team continuously. And why are they a bad third quarter team, I wonder? Hell, because they starting off, they a bad first quarter team. So that ought to let you know the lineup that you coming out with in the first quarter is the same lineup you coming out with in the third quarter, the starting lineup. And guess what? If you take LeBron out of it, then you see what happened. Like they got blew out against Phoenix and was an embarrassment, looking like a girls' middle school team going against the NBA team. And that's what LeBron is saying in these statements, in which he's saying he's frustrated because these players, listen, these players are not up to par as being NBA players that need to be getting this amount of minutes. Like Thomas Bryant, he's a good player, but ultimately you saw against the elite centers of this league, like Bam Adebayo, he stood no chance on yesterday. I felt bad for him. Gabriel stood absolutely no chance against him yesterday. So that's, again, another glaring weak spot of the Lakers is they don't have good big men to back them up. Now, I know I said on other shows, I do like Wayne and Gabriel. I like his athleticism, and I do like the way, his energy and the way he gets to the ball. But at the end of the day, he just lacks the size to be a true center. So if he's going against a true center, that's a difference. Now, if people going small, he can have at it all day. If he in the 4 position, have at it all day. I believe in him. Thomas Bryant, he can stretch the floor, he can shoot, and I have belief in him on the offensive end, but on the defensive end, he's just not a rim protector. He's shown that, And so, the Lakers need to get AD healthy. The next few games, they're going to be taking on the Hawks. I think that's a winnable game. They're going to get their rematch against the Hornets back. Is it going to be in Charlotte? I think it is in Charlotte because when they lost to Charlotte the first time, that was at home, right before Christmas. So, that'll be in Charlotte. Then they'll finish up the road trip. Then they come back, I think Charlotte is Monday. The Hawks is Friday. Then they got Charlotte Monday, and then they get a rematch. So that's the rematch against the Hornets Monday, and then they get a Heat rematch again on Wednesday, and that'll be at home this time. And, I don't think AD will be back yet, so you're probably going to see more of the same unless Darvin Ham can figure out that Troy Brown needs to be in the starting lineup instead of Lonnie Walker. Troy Brown, who gives you 3 to 4 more inches of height and length and can play better defense because he can just be a bigger body to go against opposing defenses. And also, he's been more reliant on his 3. And I've been saying, as I said in previous shows, that Troy Brown needs rhythm. He needs rhythm in order to be successful. You can't give me 8 minutes tonight, then 5 minutes another night, then no minutes another night, then 15 minutes another night. Like he pulling the Vogel down there. Now, I don't want to get at you like that, Ham. But damn, Ham, you do have a better roster, I say, still than what the roster was last year. So I need to see improvements. Pat Bev, I'm not going to keep blaming him. He's been stepping up. Pat Bev actually shot 40% from three last night, even though it was only 2 out of 5. At least he made a couple of them. The Lakers, the problem was last night, I don't think was the three-point shooting. I want to say it was right there with Miami. Forgive me for not, looking at the actual stats of it. Somebody put in the comments what were the three-pointers for me. But LeBron James, of course, 27, 9, and 6. He was 10 out of 18 himself. He was 2 out of 5 from 3. He was ultimately a -4, which was the lowest plus minus out of everybody, because you got Lonnie Walker, who was a -17, Thomas Bryant, who was a -22, Westbrook, who was a -9, Pat Bev, a -13, Troy Brown, he was a +3. He was the only player I think that was in plus, and he was +3, and he shot, Troy Brown shot 4 out of 5 from 3. But yet, you only gave him 20 minutes. And you should have had him in them waning minutes. Had that been Troy Brown, maybe those 3 airball threes, when the lead got cut down to 8, you could have cut it down to 5 and put some panic in them boys and made a move. But yet, you just could not do it. Coach Spoelstra was excellent last night. He continued to play Bam Adebayo. He had plenty of energy. Bam Adebayo played, I want to say, 38 minutes. So he was really getting it in. He played the whole first quarter. They were going to take advantage of that mismatch all day long. And then as far as protecting the rim, that's exactly what he was there for. And then it was crazy towards the end when LeBron was playing center. He bodying Adebayo. Then they call a foul on LeBron on Adebayo doing a fadeaway jump shot with 1 second on the clock, bailing him out. But LeBron was holding his own while Adebayo was trying to post up LeBron. He couldn't even barely move him off his spot. And that man about to be 38 years old tomorrow, still doing that. So that's why he's saying that, those type of things. The Lakers could have been made a move. They could have been brought Miles Turner and Buddy Hield in for the whatever draft picks they was giving them. Miles Turner is playing excellent. For two seasons, he's led the league in blocks. He's currently top 5 in blocks again this year, playing great. He can stretch the floor and hit threes, and we all know what Buddy Hield can do. That's absolutely the thing that the Lakers were missing. But yet, Pelinka could not pull off the trade, and they want to continue to waste LeBron's years for whatever reason. But, it is what it is. LeBron vowed that he would not miss the playoffs again after sitting it out last year. Maybe he just didn't think that Anthony Davis was just going to keep getting hurt. Maybe he thought that they would assemble a roster that could play better, that when AD is hurt, that they could actually compete and win games. Maybe he's sadly mistaken. Lakers got to do something. They have to pull some kind of move off unless AD can get healthy. If AD can get healthy, I think if some of these players can be consistent, and that's what I talked about yesterday. I thought Austin Reeves was becoming that guy who could be consistent, but after last night's performance, I'm just not so sure. And that was, give the Heat defense a lot of credit. They were pressuring the ball. Man, they was doubling LeBron immediately, but of course LeBron is so smart. He knows who to go to, where the double team is coming from, and exactly how to get to the ball, which led to some of his assists. But at the end of the day, LeBron James cannot do it all, ladies and gentlemen. And I, for one, I'm tired of seeing these last few years go to waste on this Lakers team when they just went all in on an Anthony Davis who continues to stay injured, and when they went all in on a Russell Westbrook, which was not necessarily that move because that was not the element of the Lakers games that they're missing. The Lakers need shooters. This is a shooting league right now. And you can look across the league and you can see that every team has marksmen on there. And the teams who don't are the teams who are doing poorly. And it's just that simple. So at the end of the day, the Lakers need to make some sort of move, or either, one of the moves maybe need to put Troy Brown into the lineup. Because if he shot 4 from 5 from 3 last night against a team that plays good defense, if he can get a starting role and then he can become better, then the Lakers might find what they need. But you're putting Lonnie Walker, somebody that's 6'3", out there as your starting wing in the 3 position as a small forward, when you got Troy Brown over there on the bench. Come on, fam. Anthony Davis is still hurt, and you need to just bring in Westbrook so you can have pace from the beginning of the game. Why are you waiting? And then you wait too late before you just start to bring in the second unit and to start bringing in rotation pieces. Westbrook shot 2 out of 7 for 3 last night. Why is Westbrook shooting 7 threes? Why aren't the Lakers getting more into their offense? Why are they settling for these threes? At the end of the day, try to remain positive. These losses, like I said, are still close. If the Lakers can handle business, against the Hawks, like I said, and against the Hornets, they should be able to do so. Probably lose to the Heat again, I would imagine. Then they have another game against the Hawks on Wednesday after that. So that's the Hawks twice in a week. Maybe get a couple of wins. They said AD is going to be getting reevaluated. Maybe they can ramp him up coming back and he doesn't go out injured again. Lord have mercy, because at this point, you just never know, man. But hey, it's the new year. We're going to wish positive vibrations and blessings to the Los Angeles Lakers and to everybody across the league for that matter and throughout the world, man, because you know how we keep it, man. We got love for everybody, and that's how it always going to be. So as always, right on to the real, and we even got much love for these haters. I'm out.